Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
I'll tell you one thing, if you like college football, we got a sneaky, pretty dadgum good Friday working right now with games all day and all night on a Friday, leading us into a college and NFL weekend. Man, it's good time of year if you like football, the college and the professional ranks. Hi, everybody. Terry Norvelle set up live at BRIX JAX Beach. Man, the steaks are flying out of the kitchen here at BRIX. $12.99 special. That includes two sides. You can't beat it, and good happy hour crowd piling in, and it's just going to be fun. We still have that, and you folks watching and listening, you know what I'm talking about. There's still that holiday kind of, a lot of people are not working feel. It just still kind of feels like, hey, man, it's pretty cool. We need to get out of the house, have some fun, and the weekend is upon us. A lot to do today on the program. We hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. Brent Beaird will check in the second hour, about 5:05 or so, and we will go over a lot of stuff with Brent Beaird, college football on the field, off the field. One bowl game complete has ended today. Navy defeated Oklahoma today, 21-20. I watched a bunch of the fourth quarter. I've been busy and setting up the show and running errands and things, but Navy, 21-20 winners over Oklahoma in their bowl game. That means Navy finishes the year 10-3. Navy also finishes with their last two wins are over Army, which is a massive win for Navy, and Oklahoma. When was the last time Navy had a back-to-back win over Army and Oklahoma, or even that type of brand? Good for Navy. They finished 10-3. Navy should be ranked in the final poll. I would say Navy pops up at 23-24. And in a roundabout way, as we welcome Patrick Young to the show, Patrick, in a crazy way, I know Army kind of all year was a little bit ahead of Navy, but Navy went out and beat them, Patrick. Navy probably had a better year than Army. And I know Army's still playing a bowl game, I think, but wouldn't you agree? I think what a year for Navy. 10-3, wins over Army and Oklahoma to end the year.
And Navy, well, they both had good starts.
Yeah, really did.
And Navy, have they played their game already?
Navy just played today and beat Oklahoma. Army is playing later. Yeah. What a nice year for both Army and Navy. What a really nice year for these guys.
Yeah, both teams in the top 25 at one point. Man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and if Army wins their game, and Cheryl me, I'll have to look it up. They could both finish the season ranked. Good for them. Boy, what a mess of a year for Oklahoma. Other than their magical Saturday night win over Alabama.
Yeah.
Oklahoma finishes 6-7, losing their bowl game, and they look pathetic today. Oklahoma football looked, not to take anything away from Navy. I don't know if you saw much of the game. I watched bits and pieces in the second half and the fourth quarter. Oklahoma looks terrible. Oklahoma football is a mess right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been nothing to ever convince me that Oklahoma football under a defensive coach was going to be the key for that program, stepping into the playoff. Like Venables is a great defensive coach, and I don't even know how.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Brent Venables is. Oh yeah, I hear a little static too. Hold on one second. Test. Is that any better? Hold on.
It's better.
Test. There we go. No?
Keep talking.
No? Let me try and see if we got a little loose. There. A little better. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Getting back to Brent Venables, and we'll try and clear this up if we can bang through it until the first break. I think he's on the hot seat next year. I mean, this was a bad performance for Oklahoma.
Yeah, without a doubt. So sucks, man. He just seems like a great coach, but maybe head coach just wasn't in his calling.
Yeah. And you hear me say it all the time. Everybody's not cut out to be a head coach. Some people are supposed to be assistant coaches, and some people have the head coach gene. By the way, real quick, Vanderbilt has scored. They're up on Georgia Tech 7-0. Let me see if I can do something and see if I can work on.
Why were you touching stuff in the first place?
We're doing some better. 1 2 1 2 1 2. They ain't better. 1 2. A little bit better.
You still sound weird.
Test 1 2. Better? A little bit better. Okay. There we go. Maybe just.
You don't sound bad. You just sound weird.
I hate to do this on the air, but can you still hear me good, Zach? All right. Let's take off, Patrick Young. We'll talk to Brent a little bit later. It's a fun day today. Today is a really nice day. Shame on me for not really realizing. I don't know if you've seen the schedule today. We just had Navy, Oklahoma. Currently, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt. Patrick, this is a game this is one of my favorite games on the bowl schedule. I think this is going to be a wonderful game, Georgia Tech, Vandy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this should be. I mean, is Haynes King, is he a senior as well?
I think he might be able to come back still. I'm not positive about that, but hey, I was talking to Zach. Doesn't it feel like it was about 100 years ago that Georgia Tech and Florida State opened up the college football season in Dublin, Ireland?
Yeah, I still remember. I remember the day very well.
Yes, I do too. So we've got Navy, Oklahoma is in the books. Georgia Tech, Vandy playing right now. Tonight, Arkansas, Texas Tech. That'll be a fun little game. Couple schools that are in that same region of the country. Later tonight, Syracuse takes on Washington State. And I don't know why I'm excited about the Las Vegas Bowl. USC's had a bad year. They are taking on Texas A&M. The thing that excites me about that, when do you ever see Texas A&M and USC play? I think it'll just kind of be cool, Patrick, to see these two teams on the field together.
Yeah, and to see Lincoln Riley lose again.
Man, that's gotten loose up there, hadn't it, over there?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if I think he can be a head coach. I think he is a guy. He's coached some really talented guys through his tenure. I don't know if he's a win the big game coach. I don't know if he has the Dan Lanning. Like, you see Dan Lanning's got it.
Yeah.
I don't just feel that. Sometimes you just have a gut feeling about someone, and I just don't. Maybe a different place for him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe he just didn't have good enough talent this season, but still, like, how do you not have a good enough talent at USC? You got the biggest state in our country.
And you look at the two programs. He's been the head coach. I mean, Oklahoma is one of the bluest of blue bloods in college football. I mean, they've got incredible tradition. They've got incredible history. They want to win. They're Oklahoma. And then now he's at USC. I mean, you could say the exact same thing. Those are two big-time programs. And, I mean, you got to start asking the question, Patrick, is Lincoln Riley just a really nice, young, charismatic guy that is a bit of a fraud? I mean, he hasn't done anything at USC. Nothing.
And you can see our boy Caleb Williams was not necessarily prepared for the NFL.
It didn't look like it.
With the style of play they started off 2-0, and I think they've lost every game.
How about that?
One since then. They beat the Jags. Remember that?
What about that game last night in the NFL? Oh, my God. 6-3.
I can't believe it.
6. How does that happen? That's the NFL, and they're professional football players, and it's 6-3. And, Patrick, it wasn't like it was this great defensive struggle, right? It wasn't like they had great defense. Those teams were bad. They were bad last night. Oh,
were they really just that bad? Because I didn't really watch any of it, and I couldn't believe the score was 6-3. I just couldn't believe it.
Isn't that terrible?
Absolutely.
6-3. That's the Jags score right there, man. Like that's what
it definitely is. Speaking of the Jags, you hate to put it like this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 teams right now in the NFL with 2 games left. There are 6 teams: the Jaguars, the Giants, the Patriots, the Browns, the Titans, and the Raiders. Okay, there's your 6 teams. Those are the teams with records either 2-13 or 3-12. You got to race to the bottom right now. These 6 teams they're racing to the bottom to get to the top of the draft. How about that? How about that?
I don't know if there's anything the NFL can do, but at this, you got to let it ride. This is part of the game.
I know. Every year there's that cheese where they roll the cheese down the hill.
Yeah.
And the people chase it and they fall and all. That's what I see when I think about the race to the bottom with these 6 teams.
That's a really good analogy. That sport is insane.
They're chasing the cheese. Hey man, what's anything new with your next basketball assignments?
Sunday, got Stetson.
Florida's last non-conference game, right?
They beat them by 50 as well, huh?
Oh, they probably will. So Florida, if I remember the schedule right, Patrick, Florida, they wrap up their non-conference Sunday with Stetson. Then they don't play again until Saturday at Kentucky, January 4th. And then that following Tuesday, if everything holds, the Florida Gators will welcome the number 1 team in the nation, right? They play Tennessee at home that Tuesday, right?
Right, correct.
How about that? And I was trying to research a little bit, Pat. You may know this off the top of your head. I don't know if Florida basketball has hosted the number 1 team in the nation very often. Maybe Kentucky here and there.
I think
Florida has hosted the number 1 team in the nation.
I know Ohio State was ranked really high.
Really high?
The Anthony Davis team. I'm not sure if they were number 1 when they came into Gainesville.
Yeah.
But they were number 1 at some point that season. No, Kansas was not. No, I maybe Ohio State my freshman year. They were top 5 for sure, but I don't know about number 1.
They came into Gainesville?
Yeah.
And y'all beat them?
No, we did not.
Well, were they a real good team?
They were solid. I wouldn't say they were great, but they had some veteran guys on that team that led them. I think they made it to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 that year, one of the two.
Well, if that was the case, you made it at least as far as them because you guys made Elite 8 at least that year. Yeah. Do you remember the game? Did you get much playing time? You were a young buck back then, right?
Not a lot. I got a little bit of playing time that year. Yeah, young buck.
Did you when you got to Florida? Obviously, the tradition. It was a big time program. Billy Donovan had it rolling. Were you okay? Did you understand that first year? You're not going to go on minutes. You're a young buck. You just out of high school. Were you okay with that? Did you understand that?
Yeah, I think I started, especially when you started to play. And
who were your bigs you were behind? Who were the bigs you were behind?
Vernon Macklin and Alex Tyus.
Nice players.
Kenny Kaji was there, but he ends up transferring out during that season.
He went down to Miami, didn't he?
Yeah.
Macklin
he would have been good if he wasn't. He just was overweight, man. He was always overweight. And
Macklin and Tyus were nice.
Tyus was great. I mean, I wish Alex Tyus, the player that he became overseas, that's who he should have been in college. Because he was it hurt. Losing Nick Calathes hurt him. Yeah. Because Nick threw the lob so much. Nick Calathes was such a great passer.
Yeah.
And then not take away from Irving Walker, but that just wasn't his game.
I like Tyus a lot, though, at Florida. He played hard. I thought he played hard at Florida.
Yeah.
I like Alex Tyus a lot. And Macklin came over. He was a transfer, wasn't he? Came over
from Georgetown.
Yeah, from Georgetown. He had a good couple years there. He was a good player, wasn't he?
He's a good player. I don't, he wasn't as athletic. Like he wasn't, jumping out the gym, but he had extremely long arms.
Yeah.
And just was a smart player, taught me a lot. Really was really molded the way that I looked at everything.
Really?
That freshman year for sure. Absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember Tyus. I really liked him. I like guys that play hard. Was he just slightly undersized? What if he was 2 inches bigger, was he a little undersized for the low post?
Yeah, for the low post, I would say so. 6'7", but man, he was so athletic. Like, I just felt like he never reached his potential in college because I saw seeing him as a pro.
Yeah,
like, there's so much more that he brought to the table, especially defensive side. I think he was on a team that David Blatt's team that coached Cleveland for a little bit. He was on the team that won a EuroLeague championship. Alex,
so he made a lot of money over there.
He made a lot of money. He might still be playing. He's balling now though. So
Patrick, when you entered Florida, let's say your freshman year, first game tip-off, your freshman year, tell me your weight, and then your senior year tip-off, what was roughly your weight?
I would guess I was probably right around 240 my freshman year, because I know I was fighting to get to be at 230 my senior year in high school.
Yeah,
I remember that. So there's no way I would have. Yeah, probably leaving college. 255. Like, it wasn't. You find the weight that your body just naturally,
and that was muscle,
kind of sticks to, and
got much bigger.
Nah, I wish I would have been able to stay at a lighter like 240 and still have the same amount of strength. But I don't know if that's possible. Like, I would have had to eat less, and run a lot more. Which the running part, it's not terrible, but eating less and
yeah, sure,
that sucks when
yeah,
you're hungry, Terry. You got food in front of you, an athlete. You're not thinking about all this stuff. You just want to eat.
And Patrick, I've said this a lot of times. I mean, who doesn't like to eat? I mean, it's in your human DNA, right?
But I will give respect here. Patrick Mahomes did not take a bite of their football cakes.
I know.
On Wednesday, he's like, I'm trying to watch my weight for the playoffs. That's like, and Trevor Kelsey, he's like, I
know. How about that?
All right, red velvet cake. Oh yeah.
Let me set up.
Yeah, it was good.
Let me set up next segment. I want to set up our next segment, but I want to ask you one question, and I'm going to make a setup. When you were in high school, and we'll just say Providence, your final year at Providence, who was, and it doesn't have to be a big or a guard, who was the best high school guy you played against? Who did you go, wow, that guy is good? Do you remember? Was there one
in my time at like Providence or Paxton?
Or Paxton, I guess, and it didn't have to just be a big that you actually wrestled with down low. Was there one?
I mean, Brandon. Did we play Brandon Knight? Well, I know Brandon Knight and Austin Rivers. Those two guys were the best. They were the best in Florida. 1 year apart from each other. But
Rivers.
Gosh.
Did Rivers come close to going to Florida? He ended up going to Duke, right?
Yeah, he was committed. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the whole story was, but I'm sure, knowing his Austin Rivers, he's a different guy now.
Yeah.
He when he was younger, he was pretty arrogant.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he would admit that now. Like, I've seen him do his stuff now. He seemed like such a completely different man. Yeah. Look, he was my teammate when I was in New Orleans. So I got to see him and be around him, and like everyone just kind of, here comes Austin, coming in right before practice. Like, practice starts at 11. My man's showing up at 10:50.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got a nice long NBA career, right?
He had a good career. Yeah, I think he played 8 or 9 seasons, and then
that's
now he's doing a bunch of NBA stuff on TV. Like, I think he's killing it.
That's what matters. He had a nice long NBA career, made a lot of money in the NBA. But I will say this: when he went to Duke, I was
his dad in the NBA, which is crazy.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be better at Duke, and I know he had a lot of hype. Maybe he had too much hype. I think
maybe his approach with his skill set was a little bit differently, I think he would have been better. He was a me guy. Back in college, he was a me 1,000%, and I hope he wouldn't lie and say that's not the truth, because I played with him a lot, Terry. I played with him on the travel circuit. I played with him, USA basketball. Like, he would score 40 points on taking 40 shots, in a game. Like, he's that guy. He's the best option. I'm not trying to take away from that. Like, he's really skilled, great, and especially on the high school level. But you got to get out of that if you want to win some stuff in college, especially at Duke.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Pat, let's take a break here. Hey, when we come back, I'm not sure. You might get mad at me for the take I'm going to have, and I'm being serious about this. I'm going to give you a take on Jim Larrañaga, the now former Miami Hurricanes basketball coach. He just stepped down, 75 years old, and I've got an issue with him. And Patrick, feel free. You can take the opposite side. I'm not sure if you're going to be on my side or not, and that's fine. I want your honest opinion, but I'm not real happy with some of his comments. And we'll talk about that. As we go to break real quick, Georgia Tech on a long drive. They're inside the Vanderbilt 5-yard line facing 3rd and goal. Vanderbilt leading 7-0, but Georgia Tech trying to tie this thing up with about 10 minutes left in the first half. Let's take a break. He is Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Zach Rothrock producing. Brent Beaird at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll dive deeper into college football. Stay with us. It's a Friday edition. You know it by now. Live from BRIX JAX Beach.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Here we go. He is Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Fun Friday. You know it by now. This is our Friday home, BRIX JAX Beach. Talking a lot of college football, of course. NFL, Jaguars, kind of a weird game. It's a weird time of year if you are some of the, I hate to say it, but bottom dwellers. It's a weird time of year in the NFL. Patrick, the NFL has an issue that I don't know if it's solvable. There's no reason to want to win these last couple games if you're part of this six-pack that's trying to get a draft pick. There's just no reason.
There's zero reason.
I know that sounds wrong, but that's the way it is. All right, Patrick, real quick, Georgia Tech did get in the end zone. They have tied up Vanderbilt 7-all. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. This is going to be a good one. You knew this. Hey, Patrick, think about the winner of this game. Georgia Tech 7-5. If they win, they're 8-5 and bowl winners. Vanderbilt, if they win, they'll be 7-6 and bowl winners. This is the winner of this game feels like they had a great season, man.
That Vandy did?
No, the Georgia Tech Vandy, whoever wins this game.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah,
polishes off a really.
Yeah, and it's cool that Pavia ends up getting another year, and I like what they did. They didn't make that like a universal rule.
Yeah.
Like always, they think they made it just for these guys that are ending this year, because it's still weird, I guess, but yeah, they didn't have the opportunity because NIL didn't exist.
Yeah, interesting the way they ruled on
that. I get it's very interesting, but either way, it's better for the sport because now Vandy is going to have a great quarterback to build off of.
Yeah.
For their program next year, and they're going to be a threat, in the league.
And they move into
but they're going to have a chance to beat another big dog like Alabama, like they did this year.
Yeah, how about that, boy? Think about Alabama, and we'll talk with Brent Beaird about this. Earlier, the early game, you had Navy beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma looked miserable. Oklahoma now finishes sub 500. 6-7. If Alabama was watching that game, they must be sick to their stomach. How they lost to Oklahoma. The Oklahoma loss cost them a playoff berth. That game, losing to that bad Oklahoma team, cost them a playoff berth. All right, Patrick.
That's why you're not in. They want to make all this. You're not in because you lost to Oklahoma.
To Oklahoma, and we just saw how bad that team is. All right, Pat, I think you're going to have – I don't know what side you're going to take on this. I'm not real – Jim Larrañaga announced yesterday he is stepping down as the Miami basketball coach, Hurricane basketball coach, 75 years old. At first, we thought maybe it's health issues, but no, he's come out and talked to the media, Patrick, and I don't know if you've seen this. I'm going to give you some of his quotes, and I'm going to do some reading here, and I'm about to call Jim Larrañaga a bit of a hypocrite. So here we go. He's 75 years old. Larrañaga, who turned 75 in October, told reporters that though he still loves basketball and coaching it, he doesn't love what the college game has become, which is why he decided to exit. So stay with me, Pat. Let me read a couple more things for you. This is a quote. At this point, after 53 years, I just don't feel that I could successfully navigate this whole new world that I was dealing with because my conversations were ridiculous with an agent saying to me, well, you can get involved with this prospective player if you're willing to go to $1.1 million, and that would be the norm, he said at a news conference. All right, Pat, let me read one more thing to you.
And that would be the norm.
Okay, yeah.
That would allow you to get into conversations with
yes.
players.
So it goes on. This article goes on to say the Hurricanes, by the way, they're 4-8 this year. They're on lost 8 of their last 9 games, but I don't think that factors here. He's talking about his team. He says, they're a great group of kids. It's not their problem. It's the system or a lack of a system. I don't know how to navigate through this. I'm exhausted, and I've tried every which way to keep this going. Okay, let me read. I know this is bad, but
let me read one more thing. Here's Larrañaga, quote, "The opportunity to make money someplace else created a situation that you have to begin to ask yourself as a coach, what is this all about?" Larrañaga said. And the answer is it's become professional. Okay, I'll stop right here. And that gives you a little backstory of where I'm coming from. And, Pat, I want to hear where you're coming from. Here's my big issue with Jim Larrañaga. Jim Larrañaga has been a longtime coach, assistant coach, head coach. He was previously at George Mason. He took George Mason to the Final Four.
Yeah, I remember that.
Florida knocked out George Mason in one of their 2 national championship seasons.
Yep.
Okay? But Jim Larrañaga, he took George Mason to the Final Four. A couple, 2, 3, 4 years later, he beat feet out of there, got out of there, and took a bigger job and obviously for more money. Jim Larrañaga has been a professional basketball coach for a long time. Just because you are coaching in an amateur league, you are a professional guy. You're getting paid to coach. Jim Larrañaga took a step up when he had a chance to. You can't tell me money wasn't a factor when he went from George Mason,
right, for sure,
to Miami Hurricanes. Why is it okay for Jim Larrañaga to try and better his situation, both professionally and financially? But he's talking down to these players that are now. I'm calling Jim Larrañaga a hypocrite, and maybe that's harsh. Patrick, I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
No, I didn't even think about that aspect as you were explaining it, because like I remember there's many coaches that, like, if they're in the conversation with other organizations if they're in conversation with an organization and there's a bunch of other coaches, sometimes they're like, nah, I don't even want to talk to you if you're showing, before even talking about money. That's one thing. And then, like Coach Larrañaga, do you have an agent? Did your agent help negotiate your deal?
Absolutely.
If it would have been a bad deal, would you have still gone?
Yeah.
If it were a bad deal or a deal that you didn't like, would you have turned it down? Would you have negotiated? Would you have tried to go to have your agent go to other people that are interested to work things out? Yes, and yes.
You couldn't have said it better. I mean, I think this is Larrañaga being a massive hypocrite. I'm going to get and I may run this by Brent Beaird too when we get him in the second hour.
I'll give him a caveat on it being a little bit different in terms of,
okay,
that kids are, coaches aren't leaving every single year.
Yeah,
they go to a program like it. I'm not saying it can't happen, but
they can, and frankly, Patrick, if a coach doesn't leave, that doesn't tell me that he didn't shop himself in the offseason.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
We don't know if he just didn't get his number or his.
Dude, oh my gosh! I feel like every assistant coach, is shopping. Like, if an opportunity comes, a lot of them do stay loyal to the coach that's ahead of them, but some of them they're like, man, I'm getting my first opportunity as a head coach. I got to go. And a lot of Shaka Smart was what he recruited me to Florida, and he gets the head coaching job at VCU before he even gets a chance to coach me. So
sure. Now, I just buried Jim Larrañaga, and I called him a hypocrite, which is a grown man will be mad at another grown man calling. Yeah, I get all that. I do want to point this out. What a freaking career he had. I mean, he took 2 programs to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Hey, there aren't a lot of guys in the history of college basketball that have taken 2 programs to the Final Four, right? I mean, that's a hell of a statement.
Yeah.
Good coach, but I get it, Patrick. I'm of the age where this is all new. The crusty, and I don't mean this in a bad way, the veteran coaches, particularly in basketball, college basketball and college football, I can see where this kind of stuns them a little bit, and they're at the back quarter of their career. And, I can see how some of them would say, I'm not sure I want to get in this. But, I thought it was hypocritical to a degree that Larrañaga
bettered his profession and bettered his financial situation, but he thinks it's wrong for the players to do that now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very interesting. Good point. No, yeah, I don't
know.
Agree with you. But yeah, it's probably now for coaches because it's in their face so much and constantly it's become the main thing.
Yeah.
There's a resistance in that now being the main, like when there's change or transition, people do better off when it's small and there's, it's coming, but like, all right, let's get some time to get used to this and to this and this. And that was not what college coaches experienced.
Yeah. And one of his quotes, I'm paraphrasing, he was talking about the game of college basketball and how it's becoming professional. No, it is professional. Remember we talked about in the offseason, we've got to start getting the fans conditioned. This is professional sports now. And I'm sorry that the old way isn't there, but Jim Larrañaga, it's not becoming professional. It is professional, and it probably should have always been professional, right? If you think about it. I mean, you kid around a lot, but I mean, Patrick Young, it wasn't like you played back when they had peach baskets. You played in an era, if these rules and regulations were in place, you would have made a lot of money in college. You would have.
Gosh, I try not to think about it, man.
Yeah, and I don't know what automobile you drove, but you probably would have driven a nice automobile and had some coin in your pocket.
But Terry, let's try to give me a non-sports profession that's similar to the scenario here, and that scenario of what's going on with college sports. And I don't know, let's say becoming a doctor. But that's it becoming, if a doctor is given an opportunity in medical school somehow to go to an even better medical school, no one's going to bat an eye. Nobody would bat an eye. Right? If I end up going to, like, I don't know, some small medical school no one's ever, and then somehow I get an offer or a scholarship or something, and then, if it happened again, hopefully my credit, and you hope your credits and all that stuff will go through. But like, you wouldn't bat an eye. Like, oh yeah, man, you got to go take that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want it to be sports, you said, if I can think of an example, I'm racing right now to think, and maybe I've got a little example here. I mean, Patrick, in any profession out there, hell, I'll use broadcasting right here, this show. And I know it's a sports show, but let's just call this a show. If you and I brought on an intern, and the intern, the term intern means there's no pay.
Right.
And the intern did a great job. The intern showed up. The intern worked hard. The intern listened. The intern learned. The intern got opportunities occasionally to work on his or her craft. And the intern's goal is to have their own show. At some point, if the intern was to come to me and say, hey, Mr. Norvelle, hey, Mr. Young, I appreciate everything you've done for me the last year and a half. I've learned so much. You've helped my career. I now have an offer to go make money and take a job where I have a salary. How do you say, well, wait a minute, I want you to still be my intern, but I'm making money. You're making money. He's not. She's not. Maybe there's an example. I don't know.
And then you have an opportunity to say, hey, well, maybe we can hire you and bring you on board to try and keep you here. We don't want to lose you.
If you're
not even, if in your mind, it's never even been a possibility that you were going to do that if you're, old man NCAA, players never. But one day, if it does happen, no, it's never going to happen. So why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
And then now it's in your face and like, oh, we're going to stick to traditional things and not catch up with what's, give me, and again, what's, you do have to hold true to some principles. I'm not saying a coach shouldn't do that. But there are things that you just have to adapt to because, we've seen this, all this transfer portal stuff. It does not guarantee winning.
No, it does not. I like what you said a moment ago.
What got you there,
Pat? I like what you said a moment ago. On top of my intern theory, you said if we had an intern and he or she was ready to go, said, "Hey, I found a job. My year and a half, 2 years with you guys has helped me. It helped me get this job. I'm going to go get paid. You said something very interesting. You said our show here, we would have the opportunity to say, hey, I'll tell you what, maybe we can find a salary for you. Maybe we can match that money. That's the same thing as Jack Pyburn. It sounds like he asked Florida for a package, and Florida said no. Florida could have met his demands.
Yeah.
It appears because of the quickness that he signed with LSU, you got to believe LSU met a lot of his demands or was pretty close. Florida just decided.
It's hard for me to believe, do you think LSU promised him starting, an automatic starting spot?
I don't know, but Florida had the right to match or not, and they obviously said our internal study says we don't want that. That was a good point about the employer could match, the schools could match. You know.
Well, I wonder if we don't have the transparency of contracts, so that's what makes it
absolutely.
That's the issue. For
the
coaches.
I don't think you were on the day. It might have been yesterday. Zach and I talked about, there's a lot of people up in arms right now. College football, the free agency, it's terrible. It's Wild West. Well, I want to caution people. The NFL, the current free agency they have that's been in place since about 93, it took them decades to figure out how to they adapted and changed the free agency many times. You don't just start in a perfect place. I think the college game is going to adapt like pro sports adapted. So we'll see. I want to, Zach Rothrock, if you're not busy back in the control room, I want to get your thoughts on what I said and Patrick added on about Jim Larrañaga. If you have it, if you don't, I understand. But I really think his comments were hypocritical. I really do. And Zach may be busy. I don't want to catch him off guard. We can catch him after a break if we need to. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break here. We'll come back. We'll start wrapping up hour number one. Patrick Young, Terry Norvelle live on a Friday. It is a BRIX JAX Beach Friday. We'll come back, try to get Zach's comments, and we'll start setting up. Brent Beaird joining us with a heavy dose of second hour college football talk here on a Friday on the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
It's a Friday, BRIX JAX Beach Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Patrick Young has stepped aside. We'll get Patrick hooked back up. Brent Beaird coming up at about 5:05 with a heavy dose of college football talk. Speaking of, Vanderbilt has just scored again. The Vanderbilt Commodores banged one in from about the 2-yard line. They now lead pending the extra point. Pavia scrambled into the end zone. Vanderbilt lining up for the extra point. They lead 13-7 over Georgia Tech late in the first half in what we expected to be and is a pretty good even matchup. What is this? The Birmingham Bowl, I guess it is. And the extra point is good. Vanderbilt leads Georgia Tech 14-7. This is going to be a big win for either program. These programs don't go to bowl games that often. Both programs have had big signature wins. Both programs feel like they've got the right young, innovative coaches at their programs. Brent Key at Georgia Tech, and of course, Vanderbilt has one of their former players, Cleve. Vanderbilt undergoing massive stadium renovations. Boy, this is as fresh and as good. And we'll bring Zach Rothrock on, our producer. I want to ask you a couple questions, Zach. But, Zach, you're a South Carolina fan, meaning you're an SEC guy. You've been around. Boy, this is about as fresh and feel good. No matter where this game goes the rest of the way, this is about as fresh and feel good as Vanderbilt. I know in your lifetime, you probably haven't seen Vanderbilt this fresh and feel good right now.
Probably not. I mean, they kind of had like the Jay Cutler era.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been pretty short-lived. I mean, it's a pretty good matchup, too, with they're kind of almost like they've had like parallels of each other's seasons in the ACC and the SEC with these two teams.
Yeah. And, they are the quote-unquote academic universities of each conference.
Right.
Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt are, high level academics.
The Harvard of the South.
And it's kind of neat to see the seasons. Hey, you heard Patrick and I talk, and I don't know if you don't have heavy thoughts on the Jim Larrañaga stepping away from Miami basketball. If you no problem. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you heard my rationale. I'm not real happy about the comments he made about kind of why he got out.
Yeah. I mean, my kind of whole thing is I just feel like that's kind of what is going to happen with his generation. So he's 75 years old.
Well
so
said.
I believe that makes him even older than Nick Saban. And Nick Saban kind of stepped down for these same sort of reasons.
Yeah.
And I just think, I mean, it's hard to adapt. They say, obviously you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's hard to adapt once you get to a certain point. And I can't really necessarily blame him for his mindset. Would I say what he is hypocritical? I mean, probably a little bit. But at the same time, I don't really blame him.
That may be a little harsh, but I'm glad you brought up Saban. I was during the break kind of thinking some other coaches, and nobody respects Nick Saban more than me. I think he's great. He's a great coach. He's wonderful on TV. He's very smart. Nick Saban is very smart. But I mean, look at Nick Saban's career. I'll just pick it up. Michigan State head coach. He parlays that into the LSU job. Obviously a step up. Wins the national title. Parlays that into the Miami Dolphins job. That is the NFL. He was still thought of so highly that he parlays that into the Alabama job, meaning he sought to better his situation professionally and financially consistently through his career, right? So how could he fault a player that may or may not get playing time when he was at Alabama that may say, hey, I got a better deal. My agent says I'm getting flirted with a prettier girl. Well, Saban, you got flirted with LSU was prettier than Michigan State. The NFL is prettier than college football. Alabama is the prettiest college program you could go to, right? Yeah. He went to the pretty girl.
Yeah, I mean, and it is. I mean, that's why I say it is a little hypocritical because they don't necessarily see how it can be like the same on both sides. And the thing about Nick Saban is, the whole entire course of college football and the NFL could have been different if his trade for Drew Brees had gone through that he wanted. So I mean, and then we would have never known Alabama to be the powerhouse, and we would never know what his takes on NIL would be potentially.
And that's life. You could do that with life too. If you at the fork in the road, you went left, or you asked the other girl to marry you, or you took the other job. But yeah, you're so right. I mean, Saban, what did he do? He got stuck with, was it Dante Culpepper? He got stuck.
Yeah,
with?
Dante Culpepper was who he got when he wanted Drew Brees. It was kind of like his second, his runner-up prize.
Yeah, and he mentions that when he got forced into that, he knew his time was short in the NFL.
Right.
Interesting. How do you think this thing's going to play out with these 6 teams? Giants, New England. I mean, the Giants, I heard you say Philadelphia might be dogging it. The Giants.
Potentially. They're going to be starting Kenny Pickett. Well, I mean, just Jalen Hurts, is in a concussion protocol, so that's not necessarily doing that. Yeah. But hey, before we get into this, real quick, there's some Florida Gator news that just broke a couple minutes ago. So, a certain Florida Gator was named to the ESPN Freshman All-American team. Would you care to guess who that might be? It's tough.
They had a big defensive tackle that played a little bit. Maybe they think he's going to be good. It wouldn't be Lagway, would it?
It is one quarterback, DJ Lagway, named to the ESPN Freshman All-American team. This being posted via the Florida Gators Twitters a few moments ago.
That's interesting, and you can see a lot of that's on potential. I'm going to spend. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you a little preview of the off season of our show. I'm going to spend a lot of time during the off season, kind of talking Gator Nation down a little bit. DJ Lagway is not a finished product right now. I mean, he's got to elevate his game, and I think the natural growth will happen. But DJ Lagway's got some football growing to do, I think.
Well, yeah, but isn't that kind of what makes him so exciting, though? Because his potential is untapped, and you would like to think that he can reach that. I think that's part of what – I mean, he's a raw talent. He is. Yeah. But, I mean, he throws a great ball. He really does. I mean, and I think that he can – He's picking it up. He improved as the season went on. I feel like he looked better each week, and so I think there's a lot to look forward to. But I mean, I understand you want to temper expectations. You don't want to give this guy the Heisman or try to hype him up for that already in the offseason. You don't want that, and you wouldn't want to put that pressure on him anyway. He doesn't need that. That doesn't help anybody.
And I'll tell you another thing. If I was Napier, and I'm saying this a little bit tongue in cheek, but I kind of mean this. If I was Napier, I might go up to DJ and say, hey, DJ, I need you to do me a favor. You probably do what we all do on Sundays. You watch the NFL. And he's going to say, yeah, I do watch the NFL. If I was, and I'm saying this kind of tongue in cheek, as I see Haynes King with a push forward pass a la Patrick Mahomes, I was going to say, hey, DJ, watch every NFL game but one. I don't want you to watch Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I'm being serious here a little bit and tongue in cheek a little bit. I think he's watched too much Pat Mahomes, and he's trying to do some of these Pat Mahomes plays that I don't know if anybody on the planet can do that, but Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. Then suddenly you think you can do the behind the back and the flip pass and all this and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, DJ, he probably could once he, but you got to be able to do the routine plays routinely first before you start doing the out of the ordinary, extraordinary plays magnificently.
Going back to college football, college football still has areas to work its way through. I don't know if it's going to be 5-10 years. I hope it's going to happen. I want the committees gone. You know my stance on that. I'll tell you another thing that's really stood out in this postseason. I think a negative right now, the 4 teams that got the byes, who was it? Oregon, Arizona State, Boise State, and I'm missing one. I'm sorry. I don't have them all in front of me. Who's that last one? I'm sorry. I'm
looking at it. Arizona State, right?
Arizona State, Boise State, Oregon, and whoever the last one is that got a bye. Why am I drawing a blank
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. The 4 teams that got a bye, somehow you got to figure out a way. These teams will not have played a game for about 3.5 weeks. No sport in the world other than college football takes in season stops for 3.5 weeks. That's just not.
It's always tough.
And a lot of people say, well, it helps from an injury. Okay, I get that. But you need to put a couple weeks off is one thing. Getting a bye week is one thing. You realize Georgia, Oregon, those guys, they played the first Sunday in December.
Yeah.
Whatever day that was, the 6th or 7th. Well, they're going to play on the 31st or the 1st. That's a problem. Secondarily, I think it's a problem. You had the first round last Saturday and Friday, right? Last Friday night, the first game was Indiana Notre Dame, and Saturday were the 3 games. They don't play tonight and tomorrow. They play like 10, 11 days later. I'm not sure that helps with momentum. That kind of kills.
Yeah, it made I felt like I knew that, and I was still looking for him to come up this weekend, even though I had known that previously they're going to be New Year. It just doesn't feel right for it to be quite that long. That's a kink they need to kind of work out.
I agree. The NFL would never start their playoff and then go 10 full games before there's another game.
Right, it's a little much, and a lot of that probably is because of how New Year's is falling on Tuesday, Wednesday. That probably won't happen. Well, I guess next year will be Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, and let me back up. The NFL would never go 10 full days with, I didn't mean games, 10 full days while they've started the playoffs. But you're right. The reason the college has that happen, they want to be married to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And if you're going to be married to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you've got to follow New Year's Eve and New Year's Day around the calendar.
Yeah, you got to be where they are. And sometimes, it feels like Tuesday and Wednesday is about the least convenient they can possibly be.
Yes, and that's how, that's not great. And I get it. Most people are off still on those days. But, it just doesn't fall well. You know, the NFL would never, ever, ever say, well, we want to have it on a specific day, even if that means we stop playing our playoffs for 10 days. No, they're going to go 7 days, buddy, and they're going to be right in your face.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday is Sunday, always.
Yeah.
They don't change,
They don't change it. So there's a couple of areas that college football still needs to work its way out. All right, let's go ahead and take a break here. We'll come back in the second hour and have Brent Beaird. Did you have something else, Zach?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I didn't know I thought I cut you off there. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Let's break. 1 hour down, 1 to go. Friday from, of course, BRIX JAX Beach. Place is packing out. We've got a lot of college ball to talk. And late in the first half, 18 seconds remaining, Georgia Tech has the ball. They trail Vanderbilt in the Birmingham Bowl 14-7 in a good football game. 1 down, 1 to go. The Young and Norvelle Show continues live from BRIX after this timeout.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
We hope to dive into some heavy-duty college football talk as we open up the second hour of the Young and Norvelle Show. Thank you for hanging out with us here. We are set up. Our Friday home, of course, is BRIX JAX Beach, the $12.99 steak special, and a lot of families still hanging out here, big groups. You can tell there's still a lot of people in town for the holidays as we will steam through this weekend and get into the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day with football, wall-to-wall, college and NFL, with college basketball mixed in. Florida will play Stetson on Sunday, their final non-conference game. Then the Gators go Sunday, Stetson at home. Patrick Young will be on the call of that game on the TV side. Then Florida won't play again until the following Saturday, January 4th. The Gators will open up SEC play at Kentucky. And then Tuesday, Florida, if nothing happens between now and then, Florida will host the #1 team in the nation, the Tennessee Volunteers. And Pat and I were talking earlier. I don't know if Florida has ever hosted a number one team in the nation in Gainesville. Be a big game on that Tuesday night as college basketball is trying to creep in and take a little bit of the audience. But I think we may have Brent Beaird. Do we have Brent in? Let's see if we have got Brent hooked up as we want to dive in. While we're waiting, let me catch you up. Georgia Tech did end up kicking a field goal very late in the half against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt at the half in the Birmingham Bowl, leading Georgia Tech 14-10 in a good game, a really good game. This is a good matchup. The two teams are similar. So SEC, ACC going at it right now. Earlier today, if you missed it, Navy finished off a 10-win season that includes wins over Army and Oklahoma back-to-back. Navy knocked off Oklahoma in their bowl game earlier today, 21-20. Oklahoma looked miserable in the game, not to take anything away from Navy. Boy, Oklahoma, Brent Venables, they've got a lot of work to do to get back to Oklahoma standards. And Brent Venables, and I know Oklahoma had a good record last year, but they weren't real happy with year one of Venables, certainly not happy going 6-7. Oklahoma finishes under 500. Not good right now. Should be a little warm, that seat for Brent Venables starting next year. Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech at the half. It's a sneaky good day of college football today. The game I mentioned is already completed. Let me go back and see what the rest of the schedule is. If you want to just veg out, you've got the second half of Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Liberty Bowl later tonight, Arkansas, Texas Tech. That should be a good matchup. Two schools relatively in the same part of the country. They know each other well from history. Holiday Bowl comes up at 8 o'clock tonight, Syracuse. A sleeper, sneaky little good year for Fran Brown. Syracuse is taking on Washington State in their bowl game later tonight. And then late tonight, 10:30 from Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Bowl, USC takes on Texas A&M. I'm intrigued about that game just because those programs never play. USC wrapping up a really, really disappointing year. And so that's the setup today. It's a sneaky good day of college football bowl games. Do we have Brent Beaird? I hear somebody stirring back. Okay, Brent Beaird.
Yes.
And there he is. There he is.
Yes.
Watching ball, I'm sure, Brent.
I'm watching Vanderbilt.
And we all knew that. You knew that was going to be a good game. That's a good match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good game.
Yeah. You know why? They both care to be there.
They do. And that's a big deal. Both programs. The winner is going to really get a boost in the next year, aren't they? The winner of this game?
And look, the greatest thing about this of all is Pavia is coming back, and he wanted to come back. Look, they trying. I get this junior college thing to a degree, but when you're a guy like Pavia, and this is Vanderbilt quarterback, folks tuning in, when you've got this and a guy who is that instrumental and that exciting to watching this league, why in the world would you not want him back?
Yeah.
My stars, Terry. That's bizarre to me to think why you'd keep a guy like that out of college football. Now, I know there was a coach this week that said, well, are we going to be having 29-year-olds play college football? Well, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case.
I don't either.
But I'm certainly glad that Pavia is back. The league deserves him.
I'm with you there. I don't think you're going to have a ton of 27, 28, 29-year-olds for the simple fact the majority of guys that are playing at the junior college level are playing there because their skill level is not Division I level.
Yeah.
You'll have some guys sneak through the cracks. Don't get me wrong. But wouldn't you say that, Brent? I mean,
yeah.
If they're 18, 19, and I get it, some guys can mature a little bit, and there'll be guys that can sneak through the cracks. But for the most part, junior college football players are there because their talent level is junior college.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the Georgia Tech Vanderbilt game in a minute. It's going to be a really nice win for somebody. It's going to be a really nice.
It is. Yeah.
Earlier today, what a miserable performance. Oklahoma fell to Navy 21-20 in, I don't want to say an ugly game because that makes Navy feel bad, but it was an ugly performance by Oklahoma. And frankly, other than one magical night in Norman on a Saturday night with Alabama, it's been a bad year. I mean, Brent, the Oklahoma football program is reeling right now. They're 6-7, Brent, and limping into the offseason with a lot of holes.
No, there's no doubt about that. Now, this is a team, again, that for folks viewing and listening, Terry and I talked about them having all 5 of their wideouts injured or not able to play at one point in the season. We had never seen that before. Jackson Arnold has gone to Auburn, but besides the Alabama game, Jackson Arnold is a very average quarterback. Listen, Terry, tell me, did you see anything in him that you give $1 million to have him come join your team?
I wanted to piggyback on what you just said about Oklahoma losing all their receivers. I was going to piggyback and say, but did that really matter? Because they don't have a quarterback worth a damn to get the ball to him.
No, they absolutely no, they don't. I agree with that. And look, we think and have thought that Billy Napier was on the hot seat. Terry, I don't think he's anywhere near the hot seat that Brent Venables is on right now.
No, I think Venables is. It's interesting. I think Venables and a guy that's going to tee it up later tonight. At some point, the folks in LA are going to say, "Is Lincoln Riley has he been a fraud? Has he been a fraud? He's been at 2 major blue blood programs, and he's been disappointing. He was at Oklahoma, and he's at USC. You got to start asking the question: was he all flash and dash and no substance?
Correct.
No substance.
Yeah, as our show mascot makes his appearance. But look, Terry, how in the world can Riley keep that job if he has another year like he did this year? Look, I got all this offensive genius stuff, but let's be honest about this. Riley either does not understand defense or doesn't want to understand defense, and will do very little to deal with it.
Brent, changing subjects with you, I am incredibly intrigued about 2 quarterback rooms that are going to have some serious evaluation and questions answered. The quarterback room going into the offseason at Georgia and the quarterback room going into the offseason at Texas. I mean, you've got, let's start with Georgia. Carson Beck, he can't go out early now. He didn't have a very good year, and he's damaged goods. He needs to go play somewhere after his surgery heals, right? He's got to go play somewhere. He cannot come out. I mean, he could, but it would be disastrous, I think.
It would.
With that being the case, if he and his people say, yes, we've got to show a little more. We've got to show we're healthy and need a good year. Does he go back to Georgia? And does Georgia say, hey, we're ready to move on? What if Gunnar Stockton has a great postseason? I mean, I'm intrigued by that quarterback room at Georgia. What's going to happen? They're both not going back to Georgia, right? They're both not going to go back in April.
No, I agree. Yeah, one of them will go. Hey, Terry, how about old Rashada still at Georgia? Hadn't been able to bust a great, hasn't busted a great. And everybody thought that he was a quarterback of the remaining century or something of that effect. So
if Rashada goes to Florida and everything is hunky-dory, they never get close to Lagway, do they?
No. And that would have been a humongous mistake for Florida for that to happen. But I agree with you on the Georgia situation. Look, I appreciate Beck. He's from here and all that. But I think you bring up a really good point. Terry, if he's healthy, and I'll give you another example of what you were talking about, and that's the same thing's going on in Alabama. But the reality is for Georgia, that's going to be that's a crucial situation for them. Rashawn is probably leaving. because he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Stockton is a guy they should have played more.
Probably.
But they didn't. Now, look, that's a pretty good problem to have if you're Kirby Smart. But at the same time, man, that will be rough going into spring and being totally up in the air as far as who your quarterback's going to be at Georgia.
Well, I just don't see both Stockton and Beck wearing red and black after the bowl season. I just, some people may forget, and I've never been in love with Beck as a player. I think he's stiff.
Yeah.
And, he's a decent player. I mean, he's a Division I quarterback. I just have never been in love with him. He was a pretty highly recruited kid out of Mandarin.
Yeah,
People may forget or not know, Gunnar Stockton was a he was a 5-star national recruit.
He absolutely was. Yes. I agree with that.
He's not sitting around if he's not pretty much said, hey, man, you're going to be our guy in April unless you know what the bed. I don't see any way Beck and Stockton are in Georgia's room.
No.
With that said, I see, even though there's not a major injury, I see a lot of similarities. Quinn Ewers, I think he's average. I just think Quinn Ewers is a solid quarterback. He did not have a very good year to show the NFL. They may win all their way through, but there's no way if Quinn Ewers and his people say, we need to come back another year. We didn't have the year we thought, and we're not going to get drafted where we thought. If Quinn Ewers people say he needs to come back, where does he come back to? They can't tell Arch Manning that he's not going to be the starting quarterback next year.
No, I agree with that. And Arch, to his credit, and it's to his families, has been very supportive. He's said all the right things. He's done all the right things. And to your point, he's more talented than Ewers is.
Absolutely.
But see, Texas and Georgia, okay, Texas and Alabama is probably more the two similar teams. See, Bama's got a kid in Milroe that it's not going to help him come back another year.
No.
But people know what he can do, maybe more what he can't do.
Yeah.
And he reminds me more of Ewers. And for the sake, Terry, for the sake of your quarterback room, at some point, the coaches have got to say, look, we love you. You've done a great job here, but we've got to move on.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we're going to lose a couple of our hotshot quarterbacks that have stayed here as longer than you have. So I know with that isn't that going to be fascinating what happens, frankly, at all three schools over the next few months.
Yeah, even Alabama, you're right. What's going to happen? I'll tell you one thing, as hunky-dory and happy marriage as it is right now between Sarkisian and Texas.
Yeah.
If Sarkisian somehow loses Arch Manning, I think that fan base will go absolutely blankety blank.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Look, right now, to your point, they would be more upset losing Manning than they would Ewers.
Absolutely.
I think that's your reality. And look, Ewers is, the two games they've lost to Georgia, he completed under 60% of his passes along that way too. So no, that's going to be the quarterback situation. And then if you throw in who's going to be the quarterback at Auburn, and where that might go, you've got some fascinating stories in the SEC.
And I think you and I talked about this, but my goodness, the decision, and they may have been forced into it. You can't make a guy come to your school. You can't make him sign. I get that, but I thought Luke Krobenhock had some talent at FSU.
Yeah, I agree.
A little moxie, and I thought he had a little, he's a winner's mentality kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a price. I don't know if it was he outpriced himself, but FSU, I don't know if they let him walk or they couldn't stop him. He goes to Mississippi State, which I think is a great pickup for Mississippi State.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yes.
FSU is jumping in bed at the quarterback position with Thomas Castellanos.
Yeah.
You see the kid. He's an athlete playing quarterback. He's not a quarterback that's an athlete.
Right.
He scrambles around a little bit. He's about 5'10". He's never going to complete more than about 52% of his passes. He's going to have one game where he throws some Hail Marys that get caught.
Yeah.
And he's going to scramble. He's going to beat somebody. But, man, talk about FSU, and we've got the entire offseason to get in this, but talk about your thoughts, FSU, the quarterback situation. And, Brent, you don't have to piggyback on this, but I think FSU's in a deep hole right now.
I agree.
A lot of holes. Their roster's a mess. And I don't think Mike Norvell's the guy.
Yeah. Well, they have brought in about 4 linemen from the portal, hoping that that's really going to help them and that they've got to have something to do. Terry, to your point, Castellano, I mean, for the kid from BC, Terry, I don't think he's better than DJU, frankly. I think they're the same guy. In this point.
DJU may be better than Castellanos.
And listen, that's a real problem if that's true. But because we saw this year, if this year's any indication, DJU just can't play.
No, he can't. He just at that level, he can't. There's been the rumor mill, which is the rumor mill. We talked about Carson Beck. If he was to, I think he and his people are going to say he needs to come back to college, show he's healthy, and put up some decent numbers. There's been a little talk about if he did walk away from Athens, he might pop up in Coral Gables. I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I love that fit.
Right.
He's way different than Cam Ward. I mean, they're totally different quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, I agree. And listen, this is a sermon for the on another day too. But Terry, when do you stop going for 1-year wonders?
Yeah.
And actually develop a guy you can have now for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that could work. But Miami got everything they could out of Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Which was a great pickup for them. But man, oh man, Terry, how many? And I'm not saying that they're going to continue to do that, but how many years in a row can you do that and not bite you in the behind?
It's tough to roll 7 every time.
Yeah.
Tough to roll 7. And, the way it looks like it's going to happen at Florida tells you it can still be done. They earmarked a superstar. They got him in, and it helped. He got in early. He got in January.
Yeah.
So, his first year, which is this year, but he got some playing time. But because of the rules right now, when Florida got Lagway, they know they've got him for 2 more years.
They do. That's right.
For 3 years before you can declare, right?
Yeah. Well, and the good thing for them is not only with him being there, but the people he's attracting to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, Lagway may be the best recruiter they've got on the team.
I just saw, you probably saw it on the internet too. There was a list of the top 10 high school football players that have signed in the recent signing in December. The top 10 in the state of Florida, and I hadn't seen this in a long time. There were 4 Gator helmets next to 4 players in the top 10.
You're right. You
haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah. And a couple of them were receivers too. Hadn't seen that in a long time, and that's got to be the Lagway effect. Hey, go back to Auburn real quick.
Yeah.
Does Peyton Thorne have another year if he wants it?
He probably does.
I think he does.
But Terry, if you're Peyton Thorne, and you've gone through what you've gone through with that fan base, and Hugh Freeze about half the time not knowing what he's doing, would you want to come back in the middle of that?
And then they brought in a guy, right? You just talked about.
Yeah. See, they've got a hot shot guy. You remember the kid that was at Notre Dame, committed to them, that he decommitted and signed with Auburn. So I mean, Peyton Thorne could come back, but there would be no guarantee he'd start.
No, exactly. I have no dog in the fight here. I've got a couple of friends that are Mississippi State fans, and they went there. My buddy Trenton Torsia, but I was kind of stunned a week ago when Van Buren left Mississippi State.
I was too.
But I was happy when they got Krobenock.
Yeah.
You know, because I was like, damn, Van Buren, he left, and he had a pretty good year. But good for Mississippi State for getting somebody there.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens? Does it? I think Jackson Dart has another year. Speaking of the Gator Bowl here, if he wants to, he's got another year. You wonder, you know, I mean, Kiffin would love to have I mean, that guy's thrown a lot of passes in college.
He has. He really has.
Mississippi State was one game away from the playoffs, but man, if he comes back, that'll be a big feather for Mississippi Ole Miss.
Well, it would. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. Now, they're going to lose a lot of those guys. Trey Harris is going to the NFL. I'm sure probably the Parrish kid at running back.
Yeah.
Will be going to. No, that's a solid point. Now, Lane can get quarterbacks. There's no doubt about that. But look, Terry, it's a different day now, isn't it? I mean, if you're Dart and you can come back and you're going to make more money than you would if you went to the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at it nationally, and Brent, we're going to take this segment a little bit long, and then we'll keep you one more segment if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Nationally, and this is going to sound crazy because the program I'm going to bring up, they've got as good a chance as 6 or whatever teams left to win the national title. Ohio State didn't get what they wanted from Will Howard.
Right.
At quarterback. Are they a program that they're looking to land a big portal guy somewhere to walk and play? Because Will Howard didn't do it. He may get hot and lead them all the way, but they didn't get the quarterback play they thought from him, did they?
No. Over the whole year, no. Last week, yes. Look, they just woke up out of a coma.
Yeah.
Last week, frankly, against Tennessee, and they ended up. And Tennessee's another team we talk about.
Yes.
But they ended up in a situation, Terry, where it all came together for them last week. All the pressure and all the stress and all that. I mean, they played their best game of the year, and what they didn't do against Michigan is they didn't throw it to those wideouts. They did throw the ball, against Tennessee. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
Would Howard be the answer for them another year?
I don't think so. I think they jumped.
I agree with that.
Last thing before this break, and we wanted to touch on Tennessee a little bit. If I was a Tennessee fan, or if I was inside Tennessee's program, my first concern, and I'm not saying this guy can't improve, but I was disappointed in Nico because to me, Brent, Nico that wrapped up his season last Saturday night in Columbus was the same guy that took the first snap this year.
Yes.
I didn't see any improvement.
No.
Am I wrong? Talk about that.
No, I didn't either. I agree with that. And frankly, sometimes I wonder if we're not twins because I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
But the reality is now, and look, he had weapons. Now, those weapons like Dylan Sampson, he had 2 carries and then a hamstring. Squirrel White went out. But they did not get the pass rush in that game from James Pierce in that D line, did they, Terry?
I think Pierce had a bit of a disappointing year.
You could say that.
Yeah.
I would. But listen, Terry, here's the reality. Now I give Hypo credit. Their record's much better now than it was before he got there. But I think what we still don't know is, and they've really struggled on the road, is Heupel the guy for them? He may be the interim guy, but is he the ultimate guy to get them where they need to go?
Is he the long-term guy? All right, Brent, let's take a break, come back, talk about a couple of other issues in college football. As we break, still early in the third quarter, 14-10, Vanderbilt leads. And I know these aren't the best teams in the country, but these two teams are going at it pretty good, man.
They really are. Yes.
This is a fun football game. Georgia Tech just got nasty on Vanderbilt's first drive, and they really bowed their neck. It's going to be a fun one, folks.
It is.
We'll keep you posted. Brent Beaird sticks around for another segment, college football talk, on the other side on the Young and Norvelle show on a Friday, wrapping the week up from our favorite Friday hangout, BRIX JAX Beach.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
For over 20 years,
a
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment
and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner,
we offer
happy hour,
everything from
or big sporting
diagnosis and
event at
treatment to
BRIX
imaging
JAX
and
Beach,
bracing,
300
all with
2nd
no
Street North
appointment
in
needed. For
Jacksonville
more
Beach.
information,
See
hours,
you
and
at
locations,
BRIX
visit our
JAX Beach.
website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what you could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Guy in the Hurricane Grilling Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. What is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tassie here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Hope you can find it.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnik Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnik never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnik Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnikBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnik is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Well, a lot of college football to get back into. Brent Beaird, our college sports analyst, who is a big part of our show, will rejoin us again. We got some college football to talk about. We'll keep you on track. What's going on with this good game? Vanderbilt still leading Georgia Tech 14-10, closing in on midway in the third quarter. Brent, let's back up a little bit before we get back into some college football talk. You may have a breaking story, a bit of a sad breaking story from the world of sports/sports broadcasting. Greg Gumbel, talk about it. The veteran television host you're seeing some stuff that he may have passed away. Is that right?
Yeah. CBS has actually put out a statement.
Wow.
On his death. Really. Now, Terry, remind me of this. What he missed, didn't he? He missed the tournament last year, and we never really knew why.
Yeah. What was it last year? It's very recently. I think it might have been. Yeah. And he was a fixture. And he was your host of March Madness, and he did a bunch of other stuff, but that was his signature. Those 3 weeks.
Yes.
He was and a immensely talented, well-respected brother of Bryant Gumbel. And, in a weird way, Greg Gumbel, longevity-wise, he almost passed Bryant Gumbel.
He did. Well, I can tell you this. Greg had a whole lot more humility than his brother ever had.
Yeah. And Bryant did have a little of that, particularly when he was younger. He had a lot of the "I'm the best broadcaster in the world," and you tell me that I am, and you have to pay me like that. But wow, that is sad news. Brent, did it say how old he was?
I'll check into that.
It's breaking, yeah. But Greg Gumbel, the great broadcaster, television host, sports host, best known for being the Rock. I mean, he was the Rock.
He really was.
NCAA basketball, March Madness broadcasting. It appears, according to CBS, and he was a longtime CBS employee, obviously, with the tournament. It appears that he has passed away. And like you said, Brent, he definitely missed a very recent tournament. And I think you were right, last year probably. And if you piece those together, probably health issues that got him. I'm not sure. We also have Patrick on.
I'm here.
Oh yeah. Pat, obviously,
it's very dark. It's very dark outside. It's very dark outside, even though it's only 5:30.
Yeah, and we can blank screen if we need to, whatever we need to do. Patrick, Greg Gumbel, I'm sure, called and talked about a bunch of your NCAA basketball games when you were at Florida.
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he was
what a great voice. Dude just had the best voice.
And
just so warm.
He was just a calming presence. I mean, you needed that. When you got
certainly
Charles Barkley and some of those guys on the set, you need somebody that can direct them and to lower the temperature if you need to do that. But
you guys know you're in the business. You've been around guys in the business. The really good ones, and particularly from the host chair.
Yeah.
And I don't make the analyst not important, but the host chair. The really good ones are smooth. They never seem rushed. They never seem flustered. And all those characteristics were part of Greg Gumbel. Boy, what a shame. What a career. What a broadcasting career. Patrick Young rejoins us. We talked a lot of college football, I should say. Brent, I wanted to throw this out, and Pat, you'll hear this as well. We were busting on Oklahoma and really we weren't picking on them. We're just talking about the facts. Oklahoma football is a mess right now. During the break, this hit me, and tell me if I'm right. Think about last year, the SEC preseason poll. At the very bottom, you had 3 teams. You had Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Florida.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was 16, 15, and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Think about those 3 programs. They're not going to be at the bottom this coming preseason poll. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Florida will be way up that poll. Guess who could be number 16? It just hit me. Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Think about that, boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They really could.
It ain't going to be South Carolina. It ain't going to be Vanderbilt. It ain't going to be Florida.
No. Wow.
Ouch. That hurts.
How about the Oklahoma Sooner football program is probably they may not be 16, but I'm confident they will be preseason 16, 15, or 14.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be Oklahoma, Mississippi State toward the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Mississippi State, yeah.
How about that, guys?
That's my – and by the way, Greg Gumbel was 78. I didn't know Greg. That amazes me. He wore it well, didn't he?
He did wear it well.
But no. Back to what you're saying. This is a really crucial year for Oklahoma. There's no way in the world, guys, that fan base is going to put up with another year of what they went through this year.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no way.
I want to get some news out. Also, college football news. We touched on his name a moment ago before the break. Dylan Sampson has announced he is going to the NFL. He's going to leave to see the great running back who was injured toward the end of the year. And I think Bill Belichick made a good move. He came out and said that he will not be in person. North Carolina plays UConn in their bowl game whenever, wherever.
Right.
I think that, and Patrick, Bill Belichick is such a big presence. I think that's a good move. Him not go. A lot of times the new coach goes to the stadium. I think that's a good move, Belichick. Hey, you got plenty of time to see these guys and scout these guys and look at film. I like the fact that Belichick said, "Hey, I'm bigger than that game. Why go and upstage the game?"
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Terry Squirrel White, the receiver for Tennessee, just announced he's going in the portal too.
Squirrel White's gone. Oh.
Dang. Well, I mean, he's going to go to another top SEC team. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I tell you,
he looked pretty good in the Florida uniform.
That's funny. He would, wouldn't he?
He would, man.
But both of you guys, is there a correlation? And certainly Tennessee has not fallen off the college football map. I mean, they were in the college playoff, so I want to make sure I qualify that. But is there a correlation between Lincoln Riley and Josh Heupel? When you say those names, we all immediately think of wide open offense, sideline to sideline, and they have their moments when their offenses get going. But if you step back, their moments when their offense gets humming is few and far between.
Yeah.
Are they a little bit more flash and dash than substance? Lincoln Riley and Josh Heupel with their offenses.
Yeah, probably. Your great offensive coaches sometimes kind of flame out, particularly now when Spurrier was at Florida, he also had Bob Stoops, and that helped him tremendously as far as on the defensive side of the ball. But a couple of things you said in the last segment I want to follow up on was that with right. But look, right, it was UCF. When at UCF there was a rumor that Riley or somebody in his in his team was giving UCF a look. I mean, Riley may be one of those guys, and Terry, that if he doesn't get it done next year, his next job may be a whole lot. It may be quite a demotion from Southern Cal.
I think so. I really do. Patrick, I don't know if you've heard in the last few days, there's been some rumblings about the Florida offensive coordinator, and Chip Kelly's name has been mentioned. Chip Kelly, who is the OC at Ohio State. Obviously, they couldn't make a move until their season's over. Have you heard that? And or Brent, have you heard that? I think that's kind of on the rumor mill right now.
I haven't heard anything like that.
No, I haven't either. I mean, obviously Kelly's at Ohio State and he's busy there.
Yeah.
But look, I'll say this. If you're going to bring somebody in and be the offensive coordinator, it certainly won't hurt to bring in someone of that ilk.
And I always talk about a grizzled veteran. It's always nice to have a grizzled veteran.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. I mean, Chip Kelly's seen it all. I mean, he's seen it all.
Yeah.
Here's where
you think he won't take a head coaching job though? If they win the national championship, you don't think he'll take a head coaching job?
He came out and said the reason he didn't flop at UCLA. He was doing decent things at UCLA.
It was okay. Yeah.
He came out and said he doesn't want all the responsibility of being a head coach. He said, I want to coach football.
That's
right. But I don't want to be a head coach anymore. Let me give you this.
I love that he says that.
Here's where I've started piecing together some stuff. I don't know the Gator beat writer, but a couple days ago, one of the guys that covers the Gators I'm going to paraphrase what he said, and I started piecing this together theoretically, and it started making some rumor mills. He said he can't say right now, but if what he's hearing about the Florida offensive coordinator position that Napier might offer, if he could land the guy that he's hearing, Gator Nation would go nuts. And I use those two words as a quote, go nuts. I immediately read that and I go, wait a minute, is this guy trying to be cryptic? When I hear the word go nuts, to me that says Ohio State.
Yeah. Or something similar, yeah.
So I immediately knew Chip Kelly was the OC. So I dig up Ohio State. Guess who the co-offensive coordinator is? Brian Hartline, who is literally considered the best recruiter in the country. I mean, 38-year-old former Ohio State guy. So I wondered, is that a cryptic message about Chip Kelly, or does 38-year-old Brian Hartline want to go somewhere and be the offensive coordinator? Because everybody knows Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator, even though Hartline has the title wide receiver coach. So I started piecing that together, and there's some rumors out there that Napier may be talking to Chip Kelly. Interesting.
Well,
little investigative work.
Well, my question for both of you is, that would be incredible if that happened. But
one of those guys.
Yeah. But look, if Napier brings somebody in, is he going to be able to let it go and let somebody run it?
Yeah, and Patrick, that's a big question. I mean, bringing a guy in on title is wonderful, but I mean, you got to let an assistant coach, don't you?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
You bring a guy in,
and I think Billy coach. I think all of his career as a head coach, he's been his OC. He's called his plays, so that's that's probably tough for him to do.
And Patrick, I'm glad you used the word tough. I'm with you, man. I'm with you right there. Billy Napier has to first do an uncomfortable thing. He's got to fire himself.
Yeah.
He's got to fire himself up.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Here's my question. If I was Billy Napier and I'm talking to Chip Kelly, and if Chip Kelly is legitimately interested in becoming the Florida offense coordinator, I would say, Chip, talk to me here about how long do you think you're going to stay here? Because think about it. If Kelly was to come to Florida, that would be his third job in 3 years.
Yeah.
You say Ohio State and Florida. I'd be saying, Chip, I don't want to do this again in a year now. Are you planning on sticking around 5 or 6 years?
Well, look, here's the thing that's difficult about this. And Shane Matthews and I were talking about this morning on his podcast. It is the only thing Napier himself has got is a promise for him to come back next year. I mean, that I'm not saying it's just a 1-year deal necessarily, but that's where they are right now.
How about that?
Because there's still going to be a lot of pressure on Napier next year.
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah,
you know Gator Nation.
Same exact schedule, pretty much.
Yeah, same schedule. You know Gator Nation. You live Gator Nation. 8-5 isn't going to do it next year.
No, I agree with that. No,
7-5, 8-5 with a bowl win. That ain't. Yeah, because you know how you get 8-5. That means you had a 7-5.
No, that's not going to be enough.
Season. Yeah, not enough. All right, Brent, we're going to get out of here and take a break and wrap up the show. Are we missing anything we need to get to?
Well, we got a full slate of bowl games today. We've got a full slate tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's just a wonderful world. I got a playoff game Tuesday. We've got 3 playoff games Wednesday, and then after that we've got the Gator Bowl that's going to be here. So
we're supposed to have Greg McGarity on Monday to talk about the Gator Bowl coming up on Thursday. As we let you go, Brent and Pat, we'll go ahead and let you go as well. Real quick though. Today's a sneaky good day of college football.
It really is.
It's a sneaky good day. You've got the game going on now. This is a great game. It's now 14-13 Vanderbilt, leading by a point. Arkansas, Texas Tech, they're kind of neighbors. They're old friends. That's going to be a fun Liberty Bowl.
It is.
Syracuse is a great story with Fran Brown. USC never plays Texas A&M. That'll be a neat
Yeah,
game.
sure is.
And then, Patrick, 2 games tomorrow that really intrigue me. Let me pull the schedule up. 2 games tomorrow. Miami plays Iowa State. That should be a good game.
It really ought to be.
Iowa State.
Yes.
That's number 13.
Yeah, I think everybody with Miami is playing.
And I think so. And speaking of everybody playing, Patrick, how about tomorrow, 7:30? The Alamo Bowl should be wonderful. BYU and Colorado, a couple of neighbors. That should be a great game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
That'd be
that.
tough.
And then we can watch.
Be a great win for Dion going into the year. That's
That
for sure. Win a bowl game.
BYU's good. And guys, as we let you two go, that would be we could wash all that great college football action on Sunday, wash it down with a great Jaguar game in the rain against another 3-12 team.
Oh,
in the rain they play. Supposed to be
imagine?
a rainy day. All right, Patrick, get out of here. Brent Beaird, get out of here. We're going to take a final break. Zach Rothrock, Terry Norvelle will come back and wrap things up from BRIX JAX Beach on a Friday.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, that's about a wrap here on a Friday from BRIX JAX Beach. I want to thank the entire staff. They always roll out the red carpet. We appreciate our Friday visits here in Jacksonville Beach at BRIX. Make sure you check it out if you're in the area. I want to thank Brent Beaird, of course, and Patrick Young. They were on the bulk of the show earlier. Vanderbilt still leading Georgia Tech. Heck of a game getting late in the third quarter. Zach Rothrock, we got about a minute left. Jaguars Sunday home. I missed on them last week. I thought they would go to Las Vegas and win. Lost that is just unbelievable. I think they win Sunday. I mean, they're going to beat Mason Rudolph, aren't they?
I would genuinely hope and imagine that they do, but I kind of thought the same thing against Aiden O'Connell, against a team that is clearly tanking for the number one pick.
Yeah, same here. That's kind of I guess because we have a team that's in the middle of it. I don't follow it much, but it's kind of a neat story. These six teams,
they're all fighting for it. The Giants are the lead horse at the moment.
And I was laughing, thinking to myself, can you imagine like tomorrow? Here are the Jaguars, and they're playing a 3-12 team. Imagine you kick off, and the team that receives it, they fumble on purpose, and then the Jaguars get the ball, and they throw an interception on purpose. And then the Titans get the ball, and they fumble on purpose.
Yeah, it can turn into a real Larry Curly and Moe type situation real fast with that. Yeah,
and again, the NFL, they've got answers for almost everything. I don't know what the answer is. This happens every year. You just hate to see teams dog it, but there's no benefit to winning.
I think the two teams that have the worst record, their owners should have to do a UFC style fight, and whoever wins gets the number one overall pick.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh, yeah. I would love it. All right, Zach, good job all week. Appreciate you. I know you've been busy with family traveling as well. We'll get together on Monday, the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll review a bunch of football and kick off the playoff week. Have a great day, everybody.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2. See that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC